NATO has been meeting in Brussels today, keeping a close eye on rising tension in Ukraine. The Secretary General tweeted a warning for Moscow not to escalate the crisis. NATO is also on edge about the future of Afghanistan in the event the United States should deploy its zero option. In other words, withdraw all troops this year, leaving no residual force and possibly returning the country right back to the unstable terror haven it was in 2001. President Obama's total withdrawal threat is the latest in an ongoing snub and counter-snub between him and President Hamid Karzai, who has so far refused to sign a joint security agreement. And while this personal relationship continues to head south, Karzai's time in office is also ticking down. Elections are just over a month away, and all the candidates have so far said that they would sign the security deal with the U.S. because it would be good, the right thing for Afghanistan. Tonight, I'll talk to one of them, former Foreign Minister Zalma. Some say that he's Karzai's hand-picked candidate. He's not the front runner, but he insists that he's best placed to reset relations with Washington, as well as Afghanistan's other desperately needed donors. And he joined me earlier from Kabul. Zalma Rasool, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Christian.
You have been foreign minister. You're now a presidential candidate. You have been working at the very heart of the U.S.-Afghan relationship. This week, President Obama warned your president, Hamid Karzai, of the so-called zero option. In other words, no U.S. or NATO troops in Afghanistan beyond 2014. How destabilizing would that be for Afghanistan?
First of all, I hope and I'm confident that the zero option will not be an option. We have already signed with the United States a strategic partnership 2 years ago. The bilateral security agreement is the annex of that partnership document. We have worked, and I work personally, word by word in this document, a difficult negotiation. And I hope that this document going to be signed as soon as possible. And I am not looking to a zero option situation.
You're not, but the United States seems to be, and that is because your president, the man you served as foreign minister, has so far refused to sign this BSA, the Bilateral Security Agreement.
He has the right to decide about taking consideration his view on the issues, but I hope that after all, this agreement, this bilateral security agreement, should be signed before the election, or maybe after the election, and so the zero option will not be an option, which is not a good option for Afghanistan, and neither for the United States.
When you say it's not a good option, spell out for me the dangers as you see them.
Of course, because our national security forces, which are very well trained and they are sacrificing their life every day to defend Afghanistan and the fight against terrorism and extremism, are not yet well equipped. They are suffering from that. They need better equipment, training, and advice. And also the sustainability of the Afghan national security forces need this bilateral security agreement. So I hope, and also in the interest of the United States, after 10 years of wars and billions of dollars and sacrifices of American soldiers and civilians, I think it will not be something good for both of us. So I hope again that this bilateral security agreement should be signed as soon as possible. It will benefit both countries.
Have you been given an assurance that, let's say, the next president could sign the security agreement? Is the United States prepared to wait until after the elections?
It is a possibility, and I hope the signing of the document will also provide an environment which brings peace and security, lasting peace and security in Afghanistan.
Do you believe that in a next administration, the relationship, which appears to be very poisoned between Afghanistan and the United States, can be resolved, can be put on a better footing?
I'm confident of the future relation between Afghanistan and the United States. There have been problems, of course, between friends. There are always some problems, but the fundamental I mentioned of the relation between Afghanistan and the United States is very solid. And I'm confident that we will have a long-term friendship and allies of the United States.
Now, 21 Afghan National Army soldiers were killed over the weekend by Taliban. Can you really negotiate with these people as they are also killing your soldiers?
We need to make a difference between those who are the enemies of Afghanistan, and we are going to fight to them until the end, and that's that our soldiers are doing and giving their lives. But there are also those people who are amenable to the peace process. They are not the same. Of course, in the framework of the respect of Afghanistan constitution, and also all this achievement they have made with your support and help in the last 10 years, especially the democratic process, human rights, women's rights, freedom of media, and all these issues, they are not negotiable. But the rest, we are ready to negotiate for those who are accepting our constitution and are amenable to the peace process. For those who are killing our people, innocent people, and our allies, they are the enemies of Afghanistan, and we will continue to fight them.
You've just listed a whole load of tangible progress that's been made over the last decade. There are still people, though, who are very concerned that in a post-NATO environment, Afghanistan could descend into civil war again. What are the chances of that happening?
I don't see any chance for the civil war in Afghanistan. We have signed in the last 3 years a long series of strategic partnership with our allies, European, United States, and also regional. And I'm confident that after the withdrawal of the NATO ISAF force from Afghanistan and the continuation of support on our national security forces, we can change this relation to a long-term relation which will provide Afghanistan the need that they have for the years to come.
Let me just read you a couple of statistics. You're very well aware of them, I'm sure. Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index ranks Afghanistan as one of the 3 most corrupt nations on earth. The other 2 countries in the bottom 3 are Somalia and North Korea. Not great company to be in. How should the country's next president address this fundamental issue?
I think I'm talking about myself, but I think my other colleague will do the same. That is the main thing that Afghan people ask from us. Fighting corruption, good governance, justice, and security. Of course, above all, the security. And we cannot bring a long-standing security in Afghanistan if you have corruption in the country and if you did not have a good governance. So personally, I'm committed to do that, and that's the main reason that I have been candidate for this election.
And as you know, so much of the world looks as an indicator of progress to women's rights. You have chosen a woman as your running mate. And, you know, Human Rights Watch have said that opponents of women's rights have really been seizing the initiative. I mean, you know, every time we turn around, we see yet another law or bill or something signed that seems to chip away at these hard-won rights by Afghan women. What would you do if you are president to absolutely stand by the rights of women?
Christian, the reason I have chosen a lady as my second vice president is not a electoral issue, but because I believe in that, and I always believe in my life that the woman can play a very important role in any society, especially in Afghanistan. The women in Afghanistan represent half of our population. They are very committed. They are very sincere, and it's time now. It's absolutely time now that they have their rightful part in the Afghan society, in the politics, and in the business, and any kind of society. And I can assure you that we will do everything. I will do everything to make sure that the Afghan women, they have their rightful part in the Afghan society, including changing the laws or other issues that they have not done yet.
Can I ask you about the rather wide field that appears to be contesting these elections? There are all sorts of reports that a whole load of tribal leaders have gotten together and have tried to get some of you to join forces. For instance, yourself and one of President Karzai's brothers, who's also running for president, and to contest the ticket in a more united way. Is that a possibility? Will you join forces, for instance, with Mr. Karzai, the brother of the president?
You know, Christian, we are 11 candidates in this election. And I believe that if we can, those candidates that have same views and same program for the future, if they are coming together, is better for all of us, is better for the Afghan people. We are not only me, the other candidates are in negotiation, and we'll see what will happen.
So you're not ruling that out for yourself. You can see yourself perhaps joining forces with another of the current candidates.
Yes, if you know, there's 5 weeks left for the election. if any candidate, the other also, seems that they are coming together because they have the same view, I think that's something positive.
Dr. Zalma Rasool, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you.